So Judith is asking, is America in Bible end time prophecy?
Great question.
My answer is
Next
yes.
question. Can you prove it, Tina? You got to convince me.
I'm sorry, I don't mean to steal anything. I mean, to me, it's just so clear. When it comes to Bible prophecy, that this is just why I love the Bible is, like we were reading earlier in Isaiah 46:10, where, God says he declares the end from the beginning and things that are not seen as though they were, because God knows the future and he knew about America in the Bible. And I think you see the United States so clearly in the Bible in Revelation 13, getting close down to the time of the end. To me, that's where you see what I believe is the America. Basically, when we're coming down to the time of the end, there is a beast power that's been prophesied. That's going to be the big world power. I believe it's the same beast in Daniel chapter 7. But then it says that in Revelation chapter 13, and verse 11, it says, I beheld, and another beast came up out of the earth, and he had two horns like a lamb, and he spake as a dragon. And he exercised all the power of the first beast before him, and causes the earth, which dwell therein, to worship the first beast, whose deadly wound was healed. To me, that's pretty clear that this would be the United States, because the first thing it says is that the beast comes out of the earth. Now, every other beast, like you read in Daniel chapter 7, they all come out of the water. And if you read later in the book of Revelation, it says that waters represent people and nations. And so from, widely populated areas. But where do we see a nation that becomes a worldwide power, especially worldwide military power, that comes from a land that's not densely populated, that's basically just earth? I mean, that's obviously the United States. Some interesting things that define it. And it says that basically...
And so it looks like a lamb, right?
Yeah, it looks like a lamb. So it has this image that it's, Christian or good or kind, but it has this side to it that's, very vicious. And so... I do think that in the end of time, we're going to see, the United States and this beast power joining forces to enforce the mark of the beast, which, again, I personally believe that's going to be the Sunday law, which opposes the fourth commandment of God, which God, says, if you love me, keep my commandments. So it just imposes.
And we already have Sunday laws on the books in certain states, and we already had major attempts to impose Sunday laws nationwide. So not crazy. These things have been attempted, and it's just, will it happen in our lifetime again?
Yeah. And even in 1888, the Sunday law almost became a national Sunday law. It was only because somebody, appealed to Congress and said, hey, this is against the First Amendment. We can't be having this. But yeah, back in 1888, like it was basically, were they going to sign it into legislation? But thank God they did it. Yeah. So, I mean, there's people that are upholding the truth and, trying to have religious liberty, where people can have a freedom of conscience. And I think that that's really the battle that's going on, is the battle of, your right to choose. And so,
it's interesting that Revelation 13 talks about there being two horns, and horn means power, rulers, authorities in prophecy speak. And in America, we've always have this dichotomy of, separation of church and state, for example. Or we have even like just two political parties always, it seems like. First we had the Democrats and the Whigs. The Whig party collapses, immediately replaced by the Republicans. So to me, it's a very apt symbol for the United States. And then there's other verses that are not as clear about the United States, referring to it sort of as this prophet. I think referring to just the level of Christianity we have. There's a very spirit-oriented, a very eager Christianity that may be a bit misled at times, right? I don't want to call out certain groups or whatever, but these concepts of people really want to have a true religion with God, want to have a real experience that they think, is bringing down that fire from heaven, but is really not of God's origin.
Mm-hmm.
Which is why it's so important to really go back and understand, what's pagan, what's Christian. Love that first question.
Yeah, definitely.